All right, so you've done it. You've finished your first draft, all the words are on the page. But let's be honest, the work isn't really over, is it? In fact, this next part is where the real magic happens. We're going to take that draft, treat it like a raw block of stone, and learn how to sculpt it into a masterpiece. And our guide for this is the amazing book, Academic Writing, Simple Concepts and Easy Skills by Mohammed AbdEllah. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to completely change how you think about the whole post-writing phase. Then we'll dive into the single most important first step you can take, the rule of fresh eyes. After that, we'll break down a super effective 3-layer revision strategy, clear up the confusion between editing and proofreading, and finally, we'll look at some awesome tools to help you get that final polish. Okay, first things first, we have to reframe this whole idea of revision. This is not a chore. It is not just about fixing typos. Think of it as the most creative part of the process. It's where you strategically shape and sharpen your ideas so they have the biggest possible impact. Exactly. Your first draft is pure potential. All the ideas, all the arguments, they're in there. The post-writing phase, all that revision, editing, and proofreading, is how you take that raw material, boost its quality, and make it incredibly clear and readable for your audience. This is where you make your ideas truly unforgettable. Now, before you change a single comma, before you even think about moving a sentence, there is one rule you absolutely positively have to follow. It is the bedrock of any good revision, and I'm talking about the rule of fresh eyes. You know, it's such a simple concept, but it's so powerful. When you've been staring at a text for hours, you're just too close to it. Your brain knows what you meant to say, so it just fills in the blanks. By taking a break, seriously, even just for a few hours, but a full day is even better, you can come back and see what you actually put on the page. And, you know, another great way to get fresh eyes is to ask a friend to read it. They'll give you a totally new perspective. Okay, so you took a break. You're back. You've got your fresh eyes ready to go. So, now what? Well, the key is not to try and fix everything all at once. That's just a recipe for getting overwhelmed. Instead, we're going to be smart about it. We're going to tackle this strategically using 3 distinct layers. We're going to work from the biggest things down to the smallest. So first, we'll look at the big picture ideas, the whole concept. Then we'll zoom in a bit and check out the framework holding it all together, the structure. And only after that's all solid will we get out the magnifying glass and polish the language. This approach keeps things manageable and way more effective.
Let's start with layer 1, the conceptual stuff. This is where you ask the really big questions about the substance of your paper. Does your introduction actually hook the reader and make them want to continue? Is your main point, your thesis, completely clear, or is it kind of fuzzy? Does your argument actually make sense from beginning to end? And what about your evidence? Is it good? Is it believable? Is there enough of it? Right, once the core ideas are solid, it's time to move to the framework. Think of this as the skeleton of your paper. Does it have good bones? Here we're checking for things like proper formatting, sure, but way more important is the flow. Do your paragraphs connect to each other logically, or does it feel like you're jumping all over the place? Each paragraph needs a clear topic sentence to guide your reader. And, of course, are all your sources cited correctly? And finally, we get to the polish. This is the linguistic layer. Now that your concept and structure are rock solid, we can really focus on the words themselves. Is your language precise and easy to understand? Or is it filled with jargon and confusing sentences? Is your tone right for your audience? And yep, this is where we become detectives and hunt down every last one of those grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors that can really hurt your credibility.
And that brings up a really crucial part of the polishing phase. You have to be ruthless. A great writer is almost always a ruthless editor of their own stuff. You gotta hunt for those extra words you can cut and simplify your sentences. A lot of the time, improving your writing isn't about adding more, it's about stripping away everything that isn't absolutely necessary. So, as we're getting close to the finish line, there are 2 words people throw around all the time: editing and proofreading. And a lot of us use them like they mean the same thing. But our source makes it super clear that they are 2 different and equally important final steps. Getting this right is the key to a truly professional piece of work. So let's just break it down nice and simple. Editing is still about the bigger stuff. Improving how your paper is organized, making your argument stronger. It's really part of those first 2 layers we talked about. Proofreading, though, that's the final, super focused check. It's a systematic hunt for typos, punctuation mistakes, and grammar errors. Think of it like this. You edit to improve the substance, you proofread to achieve perfection. Now, the great news is you don't have to do all of this completely on your own. I mean, nothing can replace a real human reader, but the source points out that there are some really fantastic digital tools out there that can help you in these final stages, especially if you can't get a friend to look it over. For that big picture editing work, improving clarity and style and flow, tools like Grammarly, the Hemingway editor, and Pro Writing Aid can be a lifesaver. They're kind of like a digital writing coach that flags clunky sentences and suggests better ways to phrase things. And then for that final proofreading pass, when all you're doing is hunting for those little surface level errors, tools like White Smoke, Ginger Software, and even AI like Gemini can act as a great safety net. They're designed to catch all those tiny typos and grammar mistakes that your own eyes are just guaranteed to miss after you've read your paper 100 times. And that brings us right back to where we started. Your first draft is not the finished product. It's the beginning. It's the raw material just waiting for you. Now you know how to approach it with fresh eyes, a smart strategy, and the right tools to transform it. So the only question left is, what masterpiece is hiding in your draft?